Welcome, everybody, to Athletically Speaking, Wagon Wheel Sports College Football Show. Today, I am back with Brian,
Hello.
and we are talking Big 12 football, Ryan's favorite conference, and what used to be my favorite conference.
He's a traitor now.
Yeah,
Screw
apparently a
you.
traitor now, but
I don't like you.
today we are here. We are bringing you the usual stuff, starting with our college football news and a couple big things the past week that has happened, and that is that the NCAA and the leagues are moving forward with a multi-billion-dollar deal settlement agreement that will allow schools to directly pay players for the first time in the history of college football. And what that means is basically that these teams are going to be putting these players on a payroll. They are employees of the university now, and they get to play them. And one thing I think that these people don't understand is if they can be paid as employees, they're going to get to be taxed as employees. And I don't think they're ready for that just yet.
No.
That's one big thing there. But what do you think about that
I
so
don't
far?
like it. It's awful. I've thought even like NIL was a little or like there should always be a cap on that, but now they're getting that, and then the school's paying them, like you said,
As an employee,
they're an employee of the school. I feel like it's making it. I always love college football because it's the love of the game, not the money, like the NFL, and I feel like they're taking that away. And it's just about where you can go to get the most amount of money now, and not for the love of your school.
I agree. And on top of now, for the future of college football, people getting paid, um, per ESPN and their columnists, there has been a series of formulas devised by sports economists. That's a hard word.
I'm also dyslexic.
Will be used to decide how to split the 2.7 billion in damages among more than 10,000 former and current athletes. So they're going to be back paying people. He said that some money will be split evenly among all members, but other parts will be allocated based on the athlete's market value. Further down, the settlement terms provide a 10-year window to fully pay out the $2.7 billion. Berman said that each player in the class will get an annual check worth 10% of the money that they are owed. So this is going to go back a few years there.
Yeah.
One thing that isn't going to bode well, and I can already see it happening, Nick Saban and the people that was on Capitol Hill a while back ago brought this up. And okay, so cool, you're getting all this money. You're going to pay the football players this much money, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens now with Title IX that says you have to equally pay women the same amount of money as you're paying men?
Yeah.
Let's pay these football players this amount of money, but who are you going to pay the female money to?
Yeah.
The equal equivalent of football? What is that?
Oh, shoot.
Female sports will go away.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that because when they now have to pay the same amount of money to these people, they are going to cut sports. All of these female sports and like Olympic sports are going to be cut, and they will not matter. You will not have that sport anymore because you're going to have football, baseball, and the next big male sport, which I can't think of at the moment, basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have basketball, and those three are going to be your big providers. And the same thing on the female side. You'll have softball,
basketball,
women's basketball, and probably volleyball.
Yeah,
would be the next thing up.
Maybe.
And that's the only 6 sports you're going to have at the university. Track and field, gone. Swimming, gone. Whatever else sport that you can think of will not be there because schools are having to fork over this money to players now.
Yeah.
It is completely ridiculous. As a student athlete, you are a student first.
Mm-hmm.
Your payment was your full scholarship to go there for free to that university to attend it. Yeah. You shouldn't be focused on the money that you're getting paid out to this.
No.
And that is ridiculous, and it's setting a precedent that I don't think is a very good one.
Nope, we're going down a bad road. I'm not happy about it.
Very sad, very sad.
Yeah.
Next up on the docket, what is the deal with the WNBA completely pooping all over Caitlin Clark.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I know when you play as well as she does, you're going to have haters. There's going to be people that don't like you, but she's just receiving so much hate. And like some other people said, I think it's just because she's straight and she's white. And it maybe, I mean, if you're not a minority, then, God forbid.
What you bring up, Jamel Hill, who's a freaking idiot anyway. And how the world she still has a job in sports, I'll never know. But she said, we would all be very naive if we didn't say race and her sexuality played a role in her popularity. While so many people are happy for Caitlin's success, including the players, this has had an enormous impact on the game.
For her popularity? Oh. She's just good.
She's good. Nobody likes her because she's white and straight. Like, it's so stupid. I have never seen somebody get hate when they're actually making your league better.
Like, she has literally done nothing to deserve it. Like, she doesn't take controversial hot takes, or she just plays the game and she's good at it, and she's super humble, and she seems like she is, and she's kind. Like, I don't understand it.
Like, I brought this up the first time we talked about this. She single-handedly brought Iowa to back-to-back national championship games.
Yeah.
The rest of that team was hot garbage.
Yeah. And
without her, Iowa doesn't get there.
And more people watched the WNBA today just because of her, one single person. You should be...
I can safely say I have never watched a WNBA game until Caitlin Clark got there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are mad, and if you are some of these old players that are just crapping all over her because she's bringing more eyes to the game, if you want it to go back into nothingness and be obscure for everybody else, then I guess continue down the road you're on. Because the day that Caitlin Clark decides, you know what, I'm tired of this, which I hope she doesn't.
No,
but if she leaves the WNBA, you're going back to obscurity, and nobody's going to care about you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting people into the ground. Like, they're talking about, like, one of the coaches was trying to emphasize taking long two-pointers.
Yeah.
And trying to get Caitlin Clark to be comfortable in the mid-range. Caitlin Clark's shot is the three-point.
Yeah.
She nails those. Mm-hmm. That's what makes her fun to watch in the March Madness tournament.
Yeah.
To tell her, like, I get trying to get better at that, but take long threes or twos are horrible. Or long twos are horrible.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a long two, you might as well take a three.
Yeah.
That's just more stupidness. I've seen people try to trash her because they think that Angel Reese, which was LSU's player, that's now
she's with the Lake, not Lakers.
Somebody at the Spark
or the Spark.
Is that it? LA?
It might not be.
That's yet again another point to.
No,
I can tell you what team Caitlin Clark plays for.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get her Rookie of the Year when Caitlin Clark has better stats across the board than Angel Reese. So, like, it's not that big a deal. Like, just be happy that she's making the WNBA a better place, because without her, she's probably not.
That's her. I just ride out the rest of my contract, whatever that is, and retire. I know she's got like a shoe deal going on. She's going to get more money from that alone.
Exactly.
Than just her check from playing basketball.
Caitlin Clark is not playing poorly. She's 15th in the WNBA in points and 9th in assists.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, being a rookie, like, you're brand new there.
Like, by the time she gets used to everything, she's going to be very good at what she does, and she's going to be a star in the WNBA.
Yeah.
So stop trashing her.
Mm-hmm.
Just be happy that your league is growing and more people are watching it, because otherwise they wouldn't be. God,
this fly!
I swear to God, if you're watching on YouTube, you see us fighting demons over here. Fly.
What are these crackheads doing?
Good Lord. All right, but yeah, that's that. That's all the news. Unless you got anything else to add to that.
I don't think so right now.
Yeah, like, that's just stupidity from their part there. But
all
right, like we start every conference. Conference breakdown.
I'm not good at these, and you know it.
It's our trivia question for the Big 12, and here it is. Ryan's crying. But this was an easy one for him.
Leave me alone. Nothing's easy.
As you know, Oklahoma has won 11 out of 12 of their conference title game appearances.
I don't care.
Of teams who are currently in the Big 12, there's been 3 of them that have won a conference championship game. Not just a title, a conference championship game. Who are the 3 teams?
Well, going back to Kansas State.
Kansas State. How many have they won? Can you know?
Kansas. They've just won one.
2. Once in 2003. And
Okay.
Once
Okay.
a couple years ago.
Kansas State. Baylor.
Baylor
1 and 21.
has won 1.
That was dumb.
Now they beat you on the inch play.
And then, like you excluding Oklahoma, they won a lot. Texas won the last one,
But they are not in the conference anymore.
And then Oklahoma State won 2011, but that wasn't a game.
It wasn't a game. I'll give you a hint. This team joined the conference.
Like this year, like they're
Just
joining
this
it.
year.
Colorado. Okay.
They won it in 1990.
Okay.
Or it was like early 2000s, late 90s. They won it when they were really good.
Okay. All right. That's a vague.
But Colorado has won 1 title game.
I pulled out the back of my mind. I saw that somewhere.
But yeah, that's
Okay,
it. Good job. Look, that was easier.
Leave me alone. Nothing is easy to me. I'm dyslexic, I feel like, and
it has nothing to do with trivia questions.
Life is just rough sometimes.
Anyway, all right. He got the trivia question. Way to go. Today is our Big 12 breakdown, as we had mentioned earlier, and we have a fun story.
Yes,
for
we do, yeah.
Our Big 12 and our new members, Utah,
yeah,
and BYU.
Those were that was fun.
So this has been a while back now, but we took a trip to Utah.
Mm.
And while there, we visited Salt Lake City.
Yep.
And unbeknownst to the people at Utah, we took a tour around the stadium and went in there. And there's a lot of people also trying to get in the stadium. So we were leading them the best we could to the gates.
But we got there first. Like we were
the first ones.
It
was raining.
We
were around the stadium. It was a beautiful time.
It was great.
So anyway, we were asking around to these people, trying to get into the Hall of Fame, I guess.
The trophy room.
Yeah, the trophy room that has all their stuff in it. And we got directed back to where we needed to be.
To the building. Yeah.
And at this point, from what we've learned with GFED, is that if there's a door open,
you take it. You take the opportunity.
You go in the door.
Yeah.
It's not locked, so you're not breaking and entering.
We parked around the building, and we walked to the door, like you said, and we opened it.
So GFED, that's right for you. We followed you along, and we just went in the building.
Shout out.
We went up the stairs. We did whatever.
Mm.
And then we went up the next floor, and we walk in, and we're just kind of looking around, and we're like, "Huh,
this don't look like where we're supposed to be.
This is kind of an odd place."
We opened the door up to offices.
Yeah, it was straight up like
a whole long hallway of offices, and we're like, "Ooh, okay."
It's like, this is interesting. Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, let's go and just ask somebody and see if we can find our way around here."
Yeah.
So we picked the first door that I see on our right-hand side as we entered the office building. And I knocked on the door, and this guy looked at me very funny. He was
very... the first things he said was, "How did you get in here?"
How did you get in? And we were like, "Well, there's a door unlocked downstairs." And we just kind of came up. We were wanting to look at the trophies and stuff. And he was like, "Huh." So he got up out of his chair and walked us.
I mean, he even said, "Hey, if we're not supposed to be here, we'll leave."
I made sure to make it clear.
He's
like, "It'll be fine, whatever." And he walked us down the hall. Well, as we were leaving, I realized, wait a minute, this is Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
This is Utah's head football coach that we're interacting with right now. And this man leads us to, I'm assuming, some grad assistant or somebody with amongst the Utah football team. And he takes us down to the Hall of Fame, and we got to see the trophies.
No one else in there. It was cool.
Us alone. We got a nice.
And it was awesome. And
it's pretty cool.
And then as the coach or Whittingham was telling the assistant, take these guys to the trophy room, but when you're done with that, come and see me. I got to talk to you about something. I guarantee it was to say, go downstairs and shut that damn door.
Lock the door.
Lock it. No one's getting in. And then he even left us alone for a few minutes.
He did. We were in there for 5 minutes by ourselves, just taking pictures, looking at trophies and stuff.
I think we were taking a little bit too long, and then he came back in and was like, "Hey, and we're like,
I talked to him. I was asking him about what they were thinking about the Big 12 move and stuff.
He's like, "We're just focused this year."
Yeah, they were focused on the 20, whatever year that
23,
was, something like that.
like
22, 21, something like that. But then, yeah, I thanked him for beating USC twice,
Yeah.
or 3 times, I guess, once in the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
So, Utah, thank you for that wonderful experience. It was a fun
For
time.
real. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was.
I appreciate you, Kyle Whittingham. If you ever see this, or if you're the grad assistant, I want to know what he said to you that day.
Thank you guys.
So let us know.
Yeah.
All
That was
right.
awesome. I love that.
Fun time.
Yeah.
Glad we could share that with you. All right. The next point. Which new member of the Big 12 out of Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah has the best year one?
Not Colorado.
Not Colorado.
Not Arizona. I guess Utah probably. I don't know. Like I'm really skeptical of Utah. And like I said, Arizona because I don't know they had some injuries and some players that are coming back this season, but they haven't played a snap in a couple of years with a running back, and then Cam Rising was out all last year. I don't know. And then Arizona with their coach going to Washington, they're getting adjusted there new, and they had a bunch of. I think they lost some people too. I don't know. I guess potentially though, if they can stay healthy, Utah would be my
Utah.
yeah.
Utah is also my pick there. For Cam Rising coming back, I think he's going to be an important part of that. They have a favorable schedule for them in the Big 12, and then they have a lot of defensive returns. And I'll go into more depth on Utah later because they're one of my picks and stuff. So I'll talk about them later. But they are definitely my year one member who I think is going to have the best start in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So as we get into this, as we always do, let's break this thing down. So starting from the top, who do you believe is going to be your most disappointing team for 2024?
I have Colorado, just because I was kind of high on them last year because I thought it was a pretty cool story of, they're getting better, they're putting something together because they won one game the year before or before last year I think is what it was. You have Coach Prime coming in and doing some stuff, but I'm just I don't like them. I think that they're too kind of what Oregon said. They're trying to get likes or whatever, and we're winning or clicks, and we're trying to win football games. I just think they're too flashy. Look at me. They're not. I don't know. They don't take the game seriously. You would think with like Travis Hunter and Shitter Sanders, they two of some of the best in the business. They could do something with that, but I don't know. I mean, they have some transfers, I believe, quite a few of them coming in this next season, so maybe they'll do something.
I was looking up here, too. Colorado has 71% returning production in 2024.
That's good.
Whether or not, they weren't good with it last year, so we'll see how that transitions this time around. But
yeah. So that's what I got.
That's what you got?
Yeah.
All right, so my disappointing team is Arizona. From what they left off last year, they beat OU in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah.
Noah Fafita was a good quarterback, but Jed Fish left for Washington, and that stability now is gone at Arizona. They bring in first-year coach Brent Drennan from San Jose State.
Yeah.
As we know, Jed Fish left for Washington. They do bring back their quarterback Noah Fafita and their receiver in McMillan. There's a lot of energy, I think, that was killed by the coaching change because Arizona had to shell out money to get Fafita and McMillan back for their team this year. And Fafita was a Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year and then a second-team All-American in McMillan. So they have talent there. I just don't think that the coaching change is going to allow them to stay where they want to stay. So I think that's going to be a big drop-off year, and Arizona's going to kind of fall away for them this year.
Yeah, I feel that.
Who is your surprise team?
Surprise. I don't. It's not really a surprise. But I have Kansas State. I don't know. A lot of people are high on them to win the conference. But I mean, I've tried to be optimistic, being a State fan. Got a good quarterback, and Avery Johnson. He did pretty well. He was a freshman this last season. I think he was in 8 games, and who's the MVP of the Pop-Tart Bowl. Shout out to Strawberry, yeah.
I got a fun story about that here in a second.
I bet. And they're returning their running back, DJ Giddens. He was really good. I don't know the exact stats, but they did really well. I know they're missing some receivers, that just 2 core ones that just went to the NFL, so they're going to be down on that. But I think they'll be well. And the defense, they're returning most of their starters, and they led the Big 12 in turnovers caused by the defense last season. So
Nice.
I'm not surprised. Not really surprised, actually, but that's who I have.
Before I go into my surprise team real quick, I would need to talk about this. Josh Pate, I don't know if you saw the video,
I did not.
but he was talking about the Pop-Tart Bowl, and Kansas State was wanting strawberry up on the stage with them when they were getting their trophy and stuff.
Yeah.
And Josh Pate was apparently the exchange that was happening was that the Pop-Tart Bowl people were like, you can't have strawberry on the stage because he's dead. Like, you ate him. And they're like, and they were thinking about it, and they, like, the next logical thing that came up was like, well, there's 2 Pop-Tarts in a package, right? So, like, the next, can he not come up there? And they're like, no, we gotta save him for next year. And they're like, so you can't have him up there. And then Kansas State was really thinking about it, I guess, because they like replied back and was like, well, what are you gonna do the next year, like after the package is used up? And they were like, well, we'll just go to a new flavor. So, like, 2 years' time, they're gonna alternate flavors of Pop-Tarts for the bowl game.
I like it. I'm hoping to see s'mores next because
That'd be
s'mores
funny.
is a staple of my childhood. So
Put bets on what the flavor of Pop-Tart is.
there's a bet on anything in Vegas, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, my surprise team for 24 is Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
I think Iowa State, they return almost every starter on both offense and defense. The exact number is 86% production for that team, per Bill Connolly. Quarterback Rocco Becht threw for 3,120 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions last year. Wide receivers Jalen Knoll and Jaden Higgins, and running back Abu Sama the third. If I butchered that, I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
But they all come back. Matt Campbell has weathered the ship that has been a bad Iowa State team in the past years. I think they're going to make a splash this year. They have a ton of people coming back. Matt Campbell has showed that when he has talent in hand, he can make it happen. So I think that's going to be your team to look out for in 2024. Plus, Ames is always a scary place to go and play, especially a night game. Ames, you don't want to be there. So
I agree.
Iowa State has that ability, and I think that they will be able to bring it back.
I'll say I feel like it's off topic there, but I feel like they wear any uniform that's not their actual uniforms. Like, they try to get away with all these just awful uniform, especially last year, the ones they wore with like the red jersey with the skin-colored pants.
Ooh, yeah.
It looked like they were pantsless, or didn't have pants.
That's kind of fair. I'm okay with that one because that was the Jack Trice, like throwback unis.
I don't know.
They still looked horrible.
They were awful.
But I understand the meaning behind it.
It was awful. I don't like when teams go back to their, like, I just don't do it. Kind of like Giants. I don't know if you've seen it. It's off topic here.
Horrible.
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't like it.
It was ugly as frick.
Yeah.
They took the wingtip from Michigan over there.
Yeah, like, no. It don't work for them.
It does not. All right. That's our surprise teams. Who is going to be your worst team in the conference?
For me, I have Houston. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty general consensus. They were 2-7 in conference play last year. Only went 4-8. You know, we didn't do as well against them. But we got the dub, anyways. We got the dub. But I mean, they're still adjusting to power conference competition. And they just got a new head coach too. Was that Willie
Fritz from
he's from
Tulane,
which he did really good at Tulane.
He won like back-to-back AAC.
He goes titles. And they've been. I saw they've went to 5 of the 6 bowl games, or they've won them. Mm-hmm. So they've done really well. So, but I still, you're getting used to a new conference. All your staff is, and then you have a new head coach. So I'm not looking for it to be that great, but I think they could build some cool things here in a few years.
Yeah, Houston's a team that could do really well. You have a ton of, like, Jalen Hurts came from Houston. There is a ton of talent.
Did he really?
He did. From that area of the state of Texas, which you're in the state of Texas, you have a ton of talent as it is.
Yeah.
But Houston particularly has good talent. Mm. And if you can bring, like Willie Fritz, if you can bring 3 4-star people into Houston and develop what you did at Tulane, Houston could be very good going forward.
And then I saw that they have a ton of transfers too. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, that's who I have. I'm high on them for this year at least.
No.
Well, in a few years, we'll see.
So I'm going back to back here. Cincinnati, I think, is going to be your worst team
That's fair.
in 2024.
Yeah.
They finished 3-9 in 2023, and their schedule is pretty brutal. Towson, they start with Towson, Pitt, at Miami of Ohio, so you're probably 2-1 at that point. Then you go on a stretch of Houston, Tech, and UCF. All three of those are losses, so you're 2-4. Arizona State, I'm not real sure how good they're going to be this year. That's kind of a toss-up game.
Yeah.
Same thing with Colorado. They could be good. They could not be good. For the benefit of the doubt, we'll give them those 2 wins. So you're 4-4, and then your last 4 games of the season is West Virginia, tough, at Iowa State, who I think is my surprise team. That's an L. K-State, L, and TCU. You're looking at 4-8 on a good day. So your schedule is tough for you. I don't think you're not bringing back much. Scott Satterfield is not a great coach that you hired from Louisville. I don't know why. That was a horrible hire, I think. He was below average. You lose Emory Jones. You return Corey Kiner, who only threw for a little over 1,000 yards. You average 23 points, or you average 24 points a game. You had 400 yards. You just couldn't score in the red zone. You only 51% scoring touchdowns. So you can't. Your red zone offense is horrible, and I don't think it's going to be better with a worse quarterback. Your defense gave up 30 points a game, 402 yards a game. So I don't see it getting much better there.
They were my second worst for sure, at least. But
so Cincinnati is my worst of the worst there. Flipping to the next thing now. Who do you got as your title game teams?
For my title game, I put Kansas State and then OSU. I'm trying to be optimistic. All right, I've got to say that's my best team. Kansas State, they got a good QB. He's only a sophomore, but it's fine. The defense is really good. They got a good running back. I mean, they'll do great things. They'll have a great season, but I don't think they'll win. I think that State, we run the conference. I'm not too worried about it. We're returning 21 starters, including the Doak Walker Award winner, Ollie Gordon, and I think they were having talks of Heisman talks this last season. So this year will only be better, I think. He ran the ball 285 times last year for over 1,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, and he wasn't even utilized
in the first
four. Yeah, so if he would have been utilized before earlier in the season, it would have been a completely different story. We would not have lost to South Alabama and some other questionable ones. And then also just having an actual quarterback, instead of rotating people out every series, that is ridiculous. Or every 3 series, that shouldn't have happened. There was a coaching flaw. I was questioning. I don't usually question Mike Gundy, but he got me. And also, I still stand on this though. But if you're listening to this, Casey Dunn, I hope your house catches fire. Anyways, we need to fire Casey Dunn.
Not actually.
And arson his house. I'm kidding. I don't condone that. But I don't like Casey Dunn. He's awful. I don't like him. I'll die on that hill. But yeah, so we're returning him. Of course, we got Alan Bowman, who's coming back for his 7th season. I'm not big.
7 seasons?
7th season, yeah. Well, same with Cam Rising. He's going in his 7th season.
That's true.
So, it's ridiculous. We could be worse off, but we could be better. And I don't like our quarterback room right now anyways, just because we lost Gunnar Gundy. He went to Ohio, which is fine. He wasn't nothing anyways, and we have Ringale still. And then Zane Flores. And we just got a new guy in. I don't know his name. The transfer or something like that. But I don't think he's going to do anything. I'm excited to see Flores, though, because he's a sophomore this year. He hasn't got no reps. But in practice, he looks good. I don't know. But we'll see.
Is he going to get the start over Bowman?
Or no, he won't.
Bowman will get
they'll give it to Bowman just because he's a veteran. I don't know. He's not. Yeah, but I don't know. It could be worse. He did get a rushing touchdown against Oklahoma's defense, which is very slow. So he's surprising. Nice. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
But yeah, wow. He did.
That must have been when I was contemplating jumping off the bridge.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
And then we're also returning Brennan Presley and Rashad Owens. They both had over 900 yards each in that game. We're losing Leon Johnson, which is upsetting to the NFL, but that's fine. But we'll make do. Defensive key pieces, though, we're getting linebacker Colin Oliver back. And since being a Cowboy, he's produced over 130 tackles, 38.5 for loss, and 22 sacks with linebacker Nicholas Martin, who leads the team with 140 tackles, 6 sacks, and then safety Trey Rucker. Those are just notable people on the defensive side of the ball that I'm excited to see. I think that they will do great things this season. Very passionate. People like in Vegas, I think they had us at 7.5 wins. Like, what the heck?
No, your schedule.
We're going to do better. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be all right.
I'll talk about that here in a second. So anyway.
Just go. Just fly. It's driving me
coming
insane.
Back over here. Anyway, so I with you with the Oklahoma State, but I got Utah in the title game.
Well, I don't like you. So.
I'm going to explain here in a second. Yeah. Utah returns 15 players, 7 on the offense, including Cam Rising, and 8 defensive players who allowed only 19 points per game and 307 yards per game in 2023. Oklahoma State, like you said, returns 20 players, which is 85% returning production. Mm-hmm. They have a ton of people coming back, which you've already highlighted, which is 10 people on both sides of the ball, actually. So you're only missing one on either side.
Teams are,
yeah. So Alan Bowman's coming back. He threw for a little over 3,400 yards, 60% completion. And Ollie Gordon, who's obviously a hoss, like you said, 1,700 yards. Ollie Gordon's going to be in New York City for the Heisman.
At some point.
Yeah. He will probably be this year. He should be there this year. He's going to be a hoss. Like you said, Mike Gundy, if he's not stupid, will start him from the get-go and use him to go to Pound Town because you're going to need it.
Oh yeah.
Your beginning of your schedule is sneakily difficult.
Like just even like South Dakota State, like what the heck?
Yeah, South Dakota State's won like back-to-back title games.
I would like to think, we can beat them.
But that's going to be
school. But no,
that's going to be a tough game.
After we barely beat UCA last season,
exactly.
And then it's out. Anyways, I don't want to get depressed. Okay, go ahead.
So you have a tough schedule. You have South Dakota State to start the season. Then you got Arkansas, which
cool.
is
I'm excited. I want to go to that game just because it's SEC. I mean, that's pretty cool. We should.
You should win.
We should win. God forbid.
You never know. Tulsa, easy win.
Yeah.
Utah.
That's a dub right there, too.
I'm going to get back to that. I think that's a toss-up game for you.
Like they're coming to. I think it's a home game for us.
It is a home game, so you got the benefit there. And then you play at Kansas State, which is a toss-up.
Yeah.
Depending on how Kansas State comes out.
I'm not going to underestimate those guys.
And then West Virginia, who I think is going to be pretty decent.
They're decent, yeah.
And then your last 6 games are easy: BYU, Baylor, Arizona State, TCU, Texas Tech, and Colorado. You should finish 6-0 in the back for that. But that beginning part is going to be what's going to make or break you. Which Mike Gundy has not done well in the beginning parts of seasons sometimes. So that's my 2 title game. I think it's going to be Utah, Oklahoma State, and Arlington at the end of the year for those reasons. So yeah, who is your champion?
My champion, I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma State.
Homer. Biased.
We're going to, it's not biased. It's facts, okay? It's not fake news. It's real. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Oklahoma State. I said everything I need to say.
We already said? All right.
I'm not, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. We'll be all right.
I think they get there. I think Utah wins it. And here's why. I think that Utah has a better quarterback. Cam Rising.
If he can stay healthy.
But here's the stats with Cam Rising playing. With Utah and Cam Rising, they won back-to-back Pac-12 titles in 21 and 22. In 21, they averaged 36 yards a game, or 36 points a game, 431 yards a game. In 2022, 38 points a game, 466 yards. He threw for almost 3,000 yards in both seasons, had 63 and above completion percentage for both of those seasons. And the one season without Cam Rising last year in 2023, their offense only put up 23 points a game. Utah with Cam Rising is a much better team. And I think that he will make the difference if he can stay healthy in that title game, and I think that's going to carry them up. Utah, as I mentioned earlier, has a easy schedule for them to go. They play Southern Utah, Baylor, Utah State, Oklahoma State, which is their toss-up game in the first 4. So at worst, you're 3-1. Arizona 4-1. Arizona State 5-1. TCU, Houston 7-1. BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, and UCF. You have an easier Big 12 schedule than most teams. You should find yourself in Arlington with Oklahoma State. I think your quarterback play is going to be better, and that's why I think that Utah will win the Big 12 in year one.
Maybe we'll blow his knee out. I don't know. We'll see.
Aggressive there, it seems.
I'm just kidding. Not really.
We do not wish harm upon any player.
No, not really.
But yeah, and Utah surprisingly only returns, if I can find them, I saw them earlier, 66% returning production. So that's all per Bill Connolly. As long as he's on the field, I think they'll be okay. But yeah.
No, I'm excited though for this.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, we have less than like a month and a half until NCAA 25 or
July 19th.
College football drops. I'm excited for that. That's going to hold me over until football season starts.
Yep.
I'm so ready for fall and spooky season and football season and cool weather. It's not a fun time out here in Oklahoma. The heat.
It is not. It is not.
I'm holding on by a thread.
I'm very excited. Obviously, I got season tickets for OU, so those OU Tennessee, OU Alabama.
I'm excited. I'll go to Norman to see them play Alabama.
And then we're going to be in Baton Rouge for OU LSU. That's going to be lit.
You dragged me to these games, and we have only seen one Oklahoma State game together.
And they almost choked that game away, too.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah, the bull overtime, it was awful. But
Free football.
Yeah, free football. But we got to start going to some state games soon.
What weekend is that Arkansas game?
That is September 8th. And you should go with all of us, bro. I'm just saying. Oh, September 7th.
September 7th?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
OU plays Houston that weekend. Yeah.
I know, but this is Houston.
That's a home game, though.
You guys, I know, but yeah.
If it was like an away game, that'd be cool. I could go with you. But
maybe they'll reschedule. Like, okay, Can you guys just swap and we go to Houston?
We're already playing Tulane or Temple on a Friday, which ticks me off.
That's the home opener too, which I think is like the first time that's ever happened, a home opener game on a Saturday or Sunday or Friday.
Yeah, I think so. We played a home opener on Sunday one year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because that was like the start of that Sunday night football.
Yeah.
That weekend before the NFL started. So
interesting. I'm sorry for football season again.
Same. All right, that's all for the Big 12. You got anything else?
No.
Nope.
I don't.
That's all we got. Next week we'll be doing all-time defense, and then the next time we do a conference breakdown will be the SEC, and then we'll be done with the conferences.
That's the most awful. That's the most awful. I would compare you guys to you in Texas to like Anakin Skywalker, and he's going to the dark side. Like,
wow.
It's disgusting. I don't like it.
That's deep hatred.
We're not coming back for you guys. We're not coming. Maybe one day we'll meet again. I don't know.
I'm sure we will.
But until then.
All right. Well, that's all we got for the Big 12 breakdown, and that is Athletically Speaking.